Welcome to the conversation at airsafe.com with your host, Dr. Todd Curtis. This is show number 104, airsafe.com Airline Safety Review for 2009. The year 2009 had the second fewest fatal airline crashes in any year since airsafe.com began its annual review of airline safety events in 1996. This 14th annual review discusses 8 fatal airline events and 10 other noteworthy events from 2009. The first and last events of 2009 didn't kill a single passenger, but both attracted a tremendous amount of public attention for entirely different reasons. On January 15, 2009, a U.S. Airways A320 experienced a loss of power to both engines shortly after taking off from New York's LaGuardia Airport. The aircraft encountered a flock of birds shortly after takeoff. The crew was able to successfully ditch the aircraft in the Hudson River near Midtown Manhattan. After ditching, all 5 crew members and 150 passengers evacuated the aircraft. 1 passenger sustained serious injuries. This event was not only the first time a large passenger jet had crashed in the U.S. because of a bird strike, it was only the 4th time a large passenger jet had successfully ditched anywhere in the world. The last high-profile event of the year was the failed bombing attempt of the Northwest Airlines A330 airliner on Christmas Day. A passenger allegedly attempted to detonate an explosive device while the aircraft was approaching Detroit on a flight from Amsterdam. The device was triggered by the alleged bomber during descent, but it only managed to start a small fire and burn the suspect's leg. The fire was put out, and the crew was able to land the airplane without further incident, and no one else on the airplane was injured. While the airsafe.com list of events includes both airline and non-airline events, the focus of the site is on those events involving large airliners that result in the death of at least 1 passenger. There were 8 such events in 2009, with the most catastrophic being the June 1st crash of an Air France A330 in the Atlantic Ocean, a crash that killed all 216 passengers and 16 crew members. The year's first fatal passenger airliner event was the February 7, 2009 crash of a Manaus Aerotaxi Bandeirante aircraft near Santo Antonio, Brazil, which killed both crew members and 22 of the 26 passengers. 8 of the passengers were small children. On February 12th, a Continental Connection Dash 8 crashed near Buffalo, New York in a residential area about 7 miles from the airport. The aircraft and 1 house on the ground were destroyed. All 45 passengers and 4 crew members were killed, along with 1 of the 3 persons in the house. The third event was the February 25, 2009 Turkish Airlines 737 crash in Amsterdam. 4 of the 7 crew members, including both pilots, were killed, as were 5 of the 128 passengers. The fourth and most deadly passenger event of 2009 was the June 1st Air France crash in the Atlantic Ocean involving an A330 that was en route from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil to Paris, France. All 216 passengers and 12 crew members were killed. On June 30, 2009, a Yemeni Airlines A310 crashed near Moroni, Comoros Islands, killing all 11 crew members and 141 of the passengers on board. The sole survivor was a 12-year-old girl who was rescued about 10 hours after the crash. The 6th event was the July 15 crash of a Caspian Airlines Tu-154 near Jalalabad, Iran, which killed all 153 passengers and 15 crew members. Among the victims were members of Iran's youth judo team, including 8 athletes and 2 coaches. There was another fatal crash of an Iranian airliner later that month. On July 24, 2009, an Arya Air Ilyushin 62 crashed in Mashhad, Iran after arriving from Tehran. A tire burst after landing, and the aircraft skidded on the runway and hit an airport fence and electricity pylon before colliding with a wall about a kilometer from the runway. There were 16 fatalities among the 153 passengers and crew members. The 8th and last fatal passenger event on a large airliner was a November 12th crash of a Rwandair CRJ in Kigali, Rwanda. The aircraft ran into a terminal while taxiing, killing 1 of the 3 crew members and 1 of the 10 passengers. These 8 passenger fatality events included only those that occurred on aircraft that can carry at least 10 passengers and that are commonly used in regular airline service in North America, Western Europe, Australia, and Japan. In addition to these 8 fatal passenger events on large airliners, there were 10 other noteworthy safety and security events during 2009 that either occurred on other types of aircraft or did not kill anyone, but either received significant media attention or raised important safety or security issues. On January 15, 2009, the U.S. Airways A320 struck a flock of geese shortly after taking off from LaGuardia Airport in New York. The aircraft sustained significant damage and a major loss of thrust, forcing the crew to ditch the aircraft in the Hudson River. All 5 crew members and 150 passengers successfully evacuated the aircraft. On March 22, 2009, a Pilatus PC-12 aircraft with 14 people on board crashed during an approach to the Butte, Montana airport. Several of those killed were children. The first of two fatal MD-11 cargo jet accidents in 2009 occurred the following day on March 23rd. Both crew members were killed after a FedEx MD-11 crashed during a landing at Tokyo's Narita Airport. This was the first fatal crash at Narita. On June 18, 2009, the captain of a Continental Airlines 777 fell ill and died of natural causes during a flight from Brussels, Belgium to Newark, New Jersey. The captain was replaced by a reserve first officer, and the crew completed the flight without further incident. The fifth noteworthy event was an August 8, 2009 mid-air collision between a sightseeing helicopter and a private aircraft over the Hudson River that resulted in 9 deaths, including 3 teenagers. A United Nations aircraft, a Casa 212, crashed on October 9th in Haiti during a routine surveillance flight in support of a UN military mission. All 11 personnel, which included military members from Jordan and Uruguay, were killed. The seventh noteworthy event was a November 28, 2009 crash of an Aviant Aviation MD-11 in Shanghai, China. 3 of the 7 crew members on this cargo flight were killed. In early December 2009, major news media outlets reported that the Transportation Security Administration had released what it thought was a redacted procedures manual and posted it on a publicly accessible website. The document was in fact improperly redacted, and all of the information, including sensitive security procedures and photos of sample identification documents from the CIA and U.S. Congress, was easily extracted from the document. On December 22nd, an American Airlines 737 on a flight from Miami, Florida to Kingston, Jamaica, ran off the runway after landing in a rainstorm. After departing the runway, the aircraft went beyond the airport fence and crossed the road before coming to rest on a beach. The aircraft was severely damaged, but all 148 passengers and 6 crew members survived. The 10th and final noteworthy event of the year was an unsuccessful bombing attempt on a Northwest Airlines A330 near Detroit on Christmas Day. The attempt was on an international flight from Amsterdam to Detroit, and about 20 minutes before landing, a passenger allegedly triggered a device that was strapped to his body. The device did not explode, but did cause a small fire that was quickly extinguished. The suspect was burned in the fire, but none of the other 277 passengers and 11 crew members on board were injured. The investigation into how this happened is both ongoing and wide-ranging, and may lead to significant security changes for passengers all over the world. For more information on all these 2009 events, including links to the incident reports, investigation updates, and plane crash videos, please visit 2009.airsafe.org. There you will also find links to additional information such as what you can bring on board, lists of banned items, instructions on how to successfully complain about your air travel experience, and fear of flying advice. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.